Hi, this is facilitation from Mathematics. Leadership, behavioral level 3, part 3, which is tertiary level. At tertiary level, they have the following characteristics behavior: directorship. Leadership behavior directorship is characterized with structuring, formulating, and regulating organization behavior with consideration on different phenomena that are important to the success of all the characteristics. Having broad knowledge on directing works and services, including utilization of employees, has contributed immense support to the growth of organizations, employees, of workplaces, including people living within and around the organization, and leaders themselves. Thus, leaders with directorship behavior as understanding on regulating, formulating, structuring organizational to the success level. They hold development of country as utmost importance in their agenda, and it's paramount to their leadership attributes, and thus development behavior is characterizes in their day-to-day lifestyle, especially the tertiary those that are those that are working as director. Directorship had been their core attitude right from primary level. They are institutionalization leaders with regulating behavior, formulating behavior, structuring behavior. These aforementioned behaviors constitute their responsibility in structuring country. During establishment of organization and company, or at innovation period, especially during the institutionalization of sustainability and development. At this level, the hierarchy of leaders is very crucial because institutionalization requires extreme research, facts, actualization, and forecasting that can support the success of the institutionalization with authority and sovereignty, which remains techniques of executing their responsibilities in order to achieve proper sustainability and development in their forecastination. Thus, regulating behavior, formulating behavior, structuring behavior are attributes that leaders whose responsibilities is to direct organization and its country agenda must possess. These quality attributes are important in order to achieve total valuable results and making ambassadors progress. Their results orientation knowledge has a great role to play in order to achieve great development and sustainability for both organization and sustainability. In tertiary level, their system of approach on the sustainability and development forecasted controls their system of approach towards several actions, and it interprets their objectives in order to establish their core goal. Such behavior which it could be recognized in their approaches a method of exercising sovereignty. And thus, leadership behavioral approach is utmost important to leaders' success in the performance of their responsibilities at duty time or period of action that requires regulating, formulating, structuring. Therefore, this behavior regulating, formulating, structuring would be discussed in next context and the skills required to regulate, formulate, structure as leader in the duty of leading organization, company, and its country. Regulating behavior. The first one we'll talk about is structuring behavior. Structuring behavior. Structuring behavior is characteristics of leaders which they utilizes when performing their responsibilities in the process of institutionalization of country and its organization development sustainability through the following mechanism which are tools that leaders utilizes in the process of structuring country country and its organization. Policy formulation. Policy formulation. Policy formulation of policy can require several amounts of research depending on the importance, large and lifespan of development, research justification, mission if development requires diplomatic mission, all which are determinants of statement of policy and policy goal. Policy goal and also what's the plan, the plan, the purpose plan to be structured. The orientation of leaders also directs their method of addressing the policy, addressing the structuring, especially those policies that concern the emperor, ambassador, nation versus nation, state versus state, and policy within the country jurisdiction. The role of the following mechanism is very essential to a leader success or the technique that requires to have a successful structuring decision making policy. Policy formulation requires that leader in person of the assignment has very vibrant decision making mechanism and skills to utilize it in appropriate manner that would caution or refuse any unscrupulous character of the country and its organization and make a development sustainability that would lead the country to higher and quantifies their structure among state members. Evaluation. The evaluation of policy is very important to development sustainability of country and its organization. Expert leaders frequently evaluate the practice of policy because they understand the capacity of the policy formulated, the process and results which it must produce and that have been adherently approved through several negotiations in meetings, such meeting that involves assertion, executions, and implementations. Thus, leaders' evaluation knowledge is utmost important in order to be able to achieve proper and effective structure formulated in the policy. Assertion. Formulation of policy requires understanding, assertion knowledge because of factors like resource and time. Leaders' method of asserting is very crucial, especially when policy formulated has been forecasted, and negotiation had been concealed. The asserting method therefore determines the safety of both policy formulator and policy assignment. Therefore, leaders are identified by their asserting style, skills, which has substantial capacity on how policy formulated implemented would be effective in the country and organization where where its execution is expected. Implementation. Leaders' behavioral pattern of overseeing to the sustainability development is very crucial, especially when it involves structuring or recruiting or restructuring, which usually call for regulation of policy or for policy implemented that is under their execution responsibilities or assignments. The extent of the leadership behavior that they possess is reflected in their approach and style of achieving their target goals. The approach could be direct and indirect depending on intelligence and the leader's intellectual ability in modifying and codifying his or her sovereignty, hierarchy, his or her sovereignty, authority, and justification knowledge. Execution. Leaders' mechanism of achieving the best outcome and solution implemented for the development of sustainability, and this has always been in their approach to eradicate unscrupulous acts towards goal strategies and assertion implemented. The approach requires expertise supervision in identifying both negative and positive affected objects and subjects. Implementation implementation and therefore execution behavior are put in place in order to achieve and create concrete structures. Maintenance of prior structures that leaders had asserted in the policy formulation. Supervision. Leaders' behavior is wide and array due to their responsibility, which is not limited to just policy formulation but also include business operation at global level. A responsibility. A responsibility which requires supervising businesses in the labor markets internally and externally. Income generation, and source. Therefore, the total mathematics of leaders are required. This types of mathematics is referred to as leadership management tactics because it requires critical thinking and problem solving as well as audition audits. The fact makes leaders as an expertise in supervising work and supporting their abilities to critically think and arrive at solutions that can solve problems via mechanisms that aid the solution provided either in policy regulation or formulation. The next one is policy formulation behavior. This is a behavior that is characterized with composition and is very useful during their institutionalization responsibilities. The characteristics of their composition reflects in their formulation and their expert intelligence is shown in the system of how they write the policy that explains form of as how they write the policies and how the policies is interpreted is explained from assertion. Method of implementation and executing process and thus assessment of prior policy formulation, functionality, policy formulation, asserted evaluation, evaluate, asserted evaluation, policy formulation, implementation, and accountability is very needed. Successful leaders take into account the aforementioned explanation. Supervision of policy formulation execution is necessary to the process of the new policy with solving problem skill, communication skill, research, research skill, assertion skill, supervision skill. All these skills are required in the process of formulating policy and assessing prior formulated policies because both are required in the developmental sustainability. Supervision skill. The functionality of prior policies is assessed and takes into account the effectiveness and efficiencies. Every goal perspective is clearly written in accountability formats that include collective bargaining, emergent intervention, immediate attention for progression and eradication, and thus leadership behavioral includes their result orientation, which has strategically emerged in the process of applying techniques and creating new development method that improve development sustainability. Therefore, new policy are introduced theoretically and practically through a work tools, work technique, professional specialization, mobilization, monitoring, strategizing. Assertion skill. New developmental sustainability formulated and asserted are set in first evaluation. Both the professional and standard tools that had been asserted for developmental sustainability are evaluated. Perhaps there is need for correction, acknowledgements, approval, and accreditation. Research skill. The implementation of the plans that are put in place for practice simultaneously requires leaders' accountability so they can achieve their planned goals and objectives. The transparency of organization is strictly demanded in this assignment. In such assignment, proper documentation also contributes to the policy success. To approve policy formulated and in order to implement into practice, the following attribute must be taken into account, must be taken into consideration: accountability, transparency, documentation. Strict adherence are properly required in the designing and achievement of goals and objectives in the developmental sustainability agenda formulated with progression, purpose, and plans. In regard to the attributes mentioned that that I mentioned in the research skill. Explanation, they utilize they utilize problem solving skills so as to achieve accurate results of their findings. Solving problem skill. Solving problem skill. In the process of researching accountability and proper documentation of policies, operations of and performance at workplaces, including when executing the policies, it is liable to encounter difficulties, unforeseen circumstances, which would call for solution. Leaders are expected to leaders is are expected to solve such situation, and therefore they have they have problem solving skill, and it's their behavioral characteristics as leaders. Communication skills. Excellent communication is a skill which leaders utilizes in resolving and making perfect decisions. It's very important to them during formulation and execution of policies, including when solving problems that arise during execution and in supervision period. It's also valuable to their interpretation and documentation at work time when they retire. This formulation, behavior, and skills are utilized during their duty period as responsibility of leaders in the performance of an institutionalization of country or its organization services, when deciding sustainability or development mechanism tools, and in the process of structuring. The next behavior pattern which leaders possesses at tertiary level is regulation behavior. This is about leadership behavior with correction attributes that involves identifying, influencing, and regulating system in their responsibility in leading their organization towards profit and goal forecasted for their country, organization, company, and has workplaces. This is an approach of leaders when aiming at achieving correction of fragmented policy and researching system and purpose plan purpose goals that they are targeting to achieve. Regulating system of country and its organization system include could require both interpersonal relationships and intrapersonal relationships approach among personality that involves thoughts to ach- that involves thoughts to achieve the cause. Their skills that leaders that their skills that leaders as which enhances their work in the process of regulating behavior system and its organization system. Thus is very important, and thus leadership process of achieving this strategy includes number one, their They are strategic in identifying risk and strategy. Strategy in identifying risk and guiding against it in order to achieve stability and remain unshakable and productive. And number two is number two is objective. This set of leaders with regulating behavior are hierarchically structured with an objective approach on leading their organization towards achievable profit and goal forecasted. And the third one is the third one is system. The regulation of country system and its organization system is in their strategic techniques that can pave ways for improvement and progression of developments aimed to achieve. They have the totality of mechanism and tools needed to carry out their research and assign right, right correction by calling for regulation meeting. The process of regulating country system and its organizations include the following strategy: evaluating, promoting, recruitment, negotiation, establishment, accreditation, abolishment, execution. Evaluating, the evaluation of active policy that is active, performance and operations of new design, the features of its capacity and the system of approaching the end result of the regulation system are evaluated. The necessary needs for progression are considered. After proper evaluation, procedures are performed and the needs for progression could sometimes result to promotions. The next one is promoting, which is number two. The result of evaluation always leads to promotions and training in order to achieve sustainability, stability in the plan design. System progress is always the priority of leaders and therefore the regulating involves supporting the progressive teams, supporting productive workers, supporting products and production for their productive support towards the country's sustainability. Stability remains a great success mechanism that always leads to recruitment. The next one is recruitment, which is number three. Regulating mechanism leaders purpose which leaders purpose of utilizing is to eradicate poverty and unemployment in the system and thereby sustain sustainability stability in the country system. This period of recruitment, the procedure always involves studying, correct, correction, confirmation, and approval, which is realistic, usually based on negotiation. Number four, negotiation. Sustainability stability could sometimes result to negotiation. In order to avoid in order to avoid disruption in negotiation, leaders are frequently in the act of licensing, eradicating, and cooperate with sustainability stability provisions and by the presented to the cabinet members ultimating members, company firms, and expertise. Therefore, leaders are highly skillful in terms of negotiation techniques. The following factors are considered and negotiate: impact, trends, durability, capability, profitability, productivity. It is very important, especially where and when fact establishment is goal is their purpose and targets. Number five, establishment. A regulating system could lead to establishment of a new ideology, new system, and management or sustainability stability. Developmental procedure is not limited to just the fact and thus requires that all observatives are taken into consideration in the process of establishing facts. The following routes are: A. Registration, incorporation, accreditation of places, mechanism, and knowledge designed to support developmental system regulation enhancements. The next one is number six, accreditation. Leaders accredit leaders accredit every sustainability stability techniques that aims at affirming policy and the governing of the policy by considering their country's reputations and their businesses at global level. Therefore, the following methods are means of achieving this regulation behavior: official, official recognition, acknowledgement, affiliation, and certification. And the next one is seven, creation. Creation of workplaces, schools. Regulation of system could demand abolishment of policies and places whose leading and intention were not supporting and producing sufficient progressive results. Resource and funds. Because of leaders' resilience towards sustainability, stability, different forms of techniques are applied through various tools which are utilized: conciliation, demolishment, creation, and and establishment of new progression in the system. However, the success of leaders works, especially during execution of implemented developmental projects, sustainability projects, sustainability policy is always at leaders' agenda to take to the to the peak level in the meeting. Therefore, execution agencies can be included or are introduced into their core assignments to oversee and enforce policy formulated, including influencing the action as planned or designed in the objective. The following methods are put into practice when executing and their business transaction in their country's jurisdiction and at global level. A. Supervision. B. Enforcement. C. Penalty. Penalty, yep. which their purpose is designated to achieve sustainability, stability, regulation. This behavior characterizes responsibilities of leaders in the performance of institutionalizing country and its organizations, sustainability, development, stability, through the following mechanism which which had been mentioned in this facilitation. Leaders utilizes all these all the skills that had been mentioned in the process of structuring country and its organization. Thank you.